I had a therapist during one of my low points a couple of years ago.
Because
I got a therapist.
as men, you know, we taught to not show that emotion. You know, you can't be vulnerable either. You can't express yourself. Man, shut up, be a man. That's the only way it's gonna be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I've learned was that I used to always look to my homies to kind of share really fucked up personal shit. But then I realized that the process of doing that, number one, my friends aren't always going to be available for me. And number two, now they got some information I don't necessarily want them to have. This is why I found a therapist to be a better solution. Because a therapist legally can't repeat what you told him.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, you could tell a therapist, like, yo, this is real talk. You could tell a therapist you killed somebody and they can't take the stand against you.
And they can't say nothing about that. Hey, you know, I used to watch the show. Not to get off subject, but I used to watch the show Hannibal. You watch Hannibal?
Okay.
Sometimes. Them, like, so that's when I learned, like, damn, you can really talk to them folks about everything and they can't say nothing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get a shorty to admit that he need that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So yeah, it's probably the best thing. You feel me? Like I do a little counseling every once in a while, but it's over the phone though. Like my little therapy sessions be over the phone, but it's
that's
all
fine.
good.
I've done that, or FaceTime. I've done FaceTime therapy sessions. Yeah,
but I feel better though. Like, all right, I got that shit off. You feel me? But you gotta get You gotta get a million shorties to admit they need that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get a million shorties to admit like they need that shit. Like everybody else need that shit. But motherfucker ain't gonna tell you that. Motherfucker gonna, man, fuck it, until they crash out all the way. And then they crashing out all the way.
Right. Oh, they'll like when you look at Fredo Santana, right? His drug use was just very heavy. You know, his lean use and his pill popping was heavy.
R.I.P. Fredo.
And whenever he talked about it, R.I.P. Fredo, he said that he does that to deal with all the trauma that he experienced.
Yeah.
Right? He said that out of his own mouth. He said, yo, I have PTSD and this is the way I deal with all my friends gone and everything else like that.
Yeah, that shit be fucked up.
But ultimately that killed him. The drugs, he had liver failure like at, how old? He's like 29 or something when he died? Like he was young. So you can't self-medicate to try to do that, man. It's a bad cycle you're gonna get in.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. And then, you know, I can't say it's the music, but it's the world. You know what I'm saying? It's all the entertainment outlets. Like that's what we got. That's what we see to like channel our emotions with the drugs. You feel me? Especially the generation under me, and even my generation. Like we grew up. Man, off Xanax, all type of shit. In high school, we walking to the school bus. Xanny juice, Xanny sodas. Like, my best friend's gonna tell you I ain't capping. You know what I'm saying? We in class with it. So, shit, that's how we was taught to deal with our problems and shit, you know?
I'll just say one more thing about therapy before I get off the subject. There was a case, I don't know, you ever heard of the Menendez brothers?
What was the case about?
The Menendez brothers were two rich dudes in their 20s who ended up killing their parents.
I think I heard about something like,
right.
Tell me some more.
It was like in Beverly Hills. Their dad was like a big Hollywood executive. They were multi-millionaires. And the Menendez brothers, they took some shotguns and ended up blowing their parents' heads off, right?
I think I heard about that.
In their house, house, right? Police showed up and they were like, well, clearly it's not their sons. So they really just closed the case and just thought that some random person came in and killed everyone. So the two sons got away with it. So they started spending money like crazy, going on big trips and buying, cars and women and everything else like that. And one of them had a therapist. And he told the therapist that he killed his parents, right? But the therapist couldn't do anything because he's the therapist, right? But then when he realized, oh shit, I should have told my therapist that, he started to threaten the therapist, say, if you ever say anything, I'm going to kill you. And then that gave the loophole to the therapist to go to the police. You see what I'm saying? If you threaten your therapist to kill your therapist, then they could then turn around and go to the police and say,
why he do
he
the
threatened to
goofy
kill me.
move like that?
Had he not threatened,
what the fuck he kill his parents for?
yeah, I know that part is even crazier. But yeah, so they're both doing life in prison right now.
Bro, y'all tripping.
I know people that have been locked
They
up
was
with
rich already?
They was rich already.
Come on, bro.
They were rich already.
You ain't heard that from my kind, bro.
Yeah, had he not threatened his therapist, they would have gotten away with it.
Come on, bro. That's crazy, bro. Man, kill your parents. Then you threaten the therapist, bro, and do the goofy. Yeah, that's fucked up. I think I heard about that story though.
Yeah, it was a famous story.
I ain't know about the therapist part.
Yeah, this was like the big. I think it happened in like the early '90s or something. But this is like the big,
Yeah,
before before the OJ trial. This was like the trial, like the big, huge trial that everyone was tuning in to watch, because it's like, when do you hear about two rich kids killing their rich parents? Like, it's just a weird situation. So
Weird as hell.
Yep.